in the cloud. My name is Sumedh and I will be the Sergeant at Arms for this meet. Today's meet, regardless of however it goes, will be epochal. We would finally get to exercise our franchise and elect office bearers for this club, who would promote our message all aflat the world. But that is only part of the fun in store today. The theme set for this meet is emotions. Emotions, also those things robots don't have. Emotions are the diktats from the heart. Speaking of diktats, I would like to lay some ground rules. Please refrain from speaking on taboo topics such as sex, politics, and religion. I know it is tough not to do so in an election season, but we must try. Please keep your phones in silent mode. Otherwise, I will be really hurt. Getting hurt, also, by the way, is an emotion. But most importantly, have fun and encapsulate all happy memories you create with positive emotions. Over to you, presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumedh, for a brilliant introduction to this very special meeting that we have today. Switching over to a different kind of emotion, there's a lot of excitement and enthusiasm and hope that we have today in this virtual room that we're getting together because we have the officers' elections. I want to start with a quote, as I've done many, many times. The pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist expects it to change. It's the leader who just adjusts the sails. This is what John Maxwell has talked about, and I think it's pretty relevant and pretty well fitting for today's agenda. I want to start by saying that OITC was just an idea less than a year ago. And today, OITC is already a distinguished club in Toastmasters charts, having achieved numerous membership and educational goals. Our club members have gone on to win club level and area level contests. And overall, all of us, in some small, tiny little way, have grown in confidence and skills. And that was the whole objective of this idea. For all of this to have successfully happened and for bringing all of this to fruition, I would like to thank my executive committee because without their passion, enthusiasm, and will, OITC would have remained just an idea. For the best growth of an organization, I think it is pivotal that there is a continuous influx of new ideas and strategies. And to push ourselves in this direction for this club, it is essential that a new set of officers take up the various officer roles and together bring upon their creative energies and make this club even more successful. Today, we are going to do just that through the officer elections. I'm moving on to my officer election role today. I'm going to read out quickly what to expect, although the agenda itself is pretty self-explanatory. We are going to, unfortunately, we have only one officer role for which we had 2 members who gave in their nominations. All other officer roles have just one nominee, the de facto, and they will obviously go on to become the officer for that specific role. However, we will still do election for that one role in this manner. We'll have the 2 officers who are vying for the Sergeant at Arms role to give their 2-minute pitch, after which all of us, everybody except those 2 officers, will put in their votes. The officer who gets the maximum votes will be elected as the officer for that role. For all the other officers where we don't have more than 1 nominations, we will still request all the speakers to come here and speak for 2 minutes about their vision, about their thoughts, about their next tenure and what they really feel about taking up charge of this role. Sounds good? Anybody has any confusions? Okay.
Yes. How do we vote?
Yes, we will create a similar kind of Google Sheet or more like Google form that we have done every single time for every contest in the past. So we'll do just that. For all the speeches, we will have 2 minutes and there are no green cards, amber card, and red card. So for timer, just be mindful of the time is 2 minutes for every speech. So you can go ahead and directly raise your 2 minute card or the red card once the 2 minutes are up, and just keep it there until the speaker is done. As we still have issues with the sergeant officer nominee joining in, so I think we'll start in reverse order. I will just look at the agenda the other way around. So the first role that we are going to hear the speech for is going to be the president role. And right now there's only one nominee, and that's our current VP of Education and going to be ex-VP of Education, Toastmaster Hind. I would like to invite Toastmaster Hind to share his thoughts with us. With a round of applause, please welcome the president nominee, Toastmaster Hind.
Thank you, Abhijit. Thank you very much. I don't like to be called ex-VP Ed. VP Ed is a very fun position to be had. And I'll be forever jealous of Akshaya, who will be taking it over from me. One thing that every leader identifies with is vision. And I have a very, very generic and a very vague sounding vision, and that's growth. Growth is very subjective. But I think I've always believed in growing. Doesn't matter whether the growth is slow or speedy. The real enemy is stagnancy. And for a club like us, who comes together in the pursuit of that, ensuring betterment is the key. So my goal as the president of this small club will be to make sure that everybody finds that conducive environment to represent themselves, to still be excited about the growth, because that's the most important thing. We started with a larger group of people, and we have dropped off some members on the way. There could be many reasons for that. Some of the reasons could be they were just not interested in the kind of growth that we are looking forward to. At least the 12 of us in this room right now, and some more who could not join for whatever reason it is. But it could also be because growth does not happen by itself, not all the time. Not everybody will always be just as charged up, just as motivated to do the things. But if you can show them a glimpse of what betterment, what growth can be, maybe they will be excited. And if I can do that thing, if I can do just that one thing, there'll be success. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hind, for sharing your thoughts, and all the best for your role. We'll come back and declare or announce the officers once we have all the officers spoken and we have conducted the election for that one role that we have multiple nominations for. Moving on, the second in command, the VP of Education role, we have one and only nominee, and that is Toastmaster Akshaya. Toastmaster Akshaya, please join us in sharing your thoughts about this role. Please welcome Toastmaster Akshaya.
So Hind said that he's kind of jealous because I'm taking up this role. I'm going to use one of his quotes, which he has said in a previous meeting, to just make up for this, because I also felt bad, and I'm just going to use a quote of his. In one of the meetings before, I'm not sure if it is his quote, he had described the different speeches that we possibly tend to have or tend to make. The one speech is the one that you imagined that you wanted to give. The other is the speech that you tried to write. And the other is the speech that you actually gave. So there are three different kinds of speeches: the one that you imagine, the one that is in your mind, and the one that you actually decided to write if you take that opportunity to sit down and write. And last is the one that we actually presented. There is a huge gap in between each and every one of them. These are like three independent components. What if all three of them beautifully collide at one place? That is where the magic begins to start. And that is when the preparation time minimizes, The time to write the script also minimizes, and eventually we transcend into becoming the speaker that most of us wanted to be. Let me tell you, speaking is not an art. It is just the art of making loud noises sound like deep, invested emotions. So that is pretty much what I want many of you who are interested, who are seen on the screen, and who are not here to present themselves today, that somewhere try to minimize or bridge the gap in between the three different forms of speech, the one that we have imagined. Some of you here have not even given your first speech, but every time you come to this meeting, you would have imagined that, okay, I should present the speech at least next time. The second are the people who came in and spoke and who thought that who should come back again and speak, but somehow could not make that happen. The third are the people who have done many things, but somehow it's not able, they are not convinced with the fact that they are good speakers. So as the VP, as the incoming VP of education, I would try my best to bridge the gap in between the three different speakers within all of us, and somehow get more people to talk and see some fresh faces, and also try to understand that what is stopping us from being that person that we want to be. So I just would like to quote one small personal incident which I have shared, because it was my third speech wherein I had to research on a topic and I had to present it. I somehow screwed up understanding because I was so lost in completing that level that somehow I did not get the point of the speech. Hind kind of took the time to explain to me how I could have done it better. So he did not discourage me from pursuing my level forward, but it made a lot of sense. He made me understand that how it is important to learn the objective of the speech and then move forward in the direction, because a speaker should not just be mindless. It is important to make sense also at the end of the day. And as the incoming VP of education, I hope that I make more friends and less enemies and try to move the club forward, uh, hopefully towards growth, as he had said before. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Uh,
Thank you, Toastmaster Aksha, for, as usual, an elaborate speech and putting forth your ideas and your vision for the VP of Education role. Now, next we have VP of Membership, and we actually didn't have any nominations for it until, Hind put his name as well, and then finally there wasn't anybody, so I put my name. Hind, if you want to do a double duty, I'm perfectly fine with that, and we can go for an election. If you would rather not do that, then I can just go ahead and talk about what I think about this role.
Elections are fun, so we can fight.
Perfect. Go ahead. Do you want to go first? Okay.
Right. Membership. We know we have struggled with membership. And who was the president when we struggled with membership? Do you want that person to take charge of membership now? I'm kidding. I was just trying to be funny. I officially take back my nomination from VP membership. Thank you.
That's a fun walkover that I could have got.
I thought we would have a fun battle here.
Yeah, I was hoping for that too. All right. I also wanted to, do a last minute check if anybody wants to impromptu nominate themselves for the VP membership role. I think it's perfectly fine. We can even come back to it at the end of other roles if you want some time to think over it and come back and speak. I'll be more than happy to concede and have somebody else take it up who's not really done an officer role before. Anybody? Okay, all right. Just remember that the associate positions are always there. If you want to kind of join an associate for any role, you can do that. I'll just go ahead and then share my thoughts for VP membership role. Our club has come a long way since its inception, obviously. We definitely had a blockbuster start to the club with 44 members that signed up when the club actually started. There, of course, has been a gradual fall of members and some addition of new members as well. As VP of membership, my vision will be to keep our club membership numbers above 20 as much as possible. That is where we stand right now, but we don't know how it's going to be in the next renewal period. So that's going to be my first goal. My other goals would be to work towards adding new members regularly, irrespective of the number, and seeking active feedback from the people who joined new or the people who have been here for a while, and try to work with the overall executive committee to keep them engaged. Here, I would like to work very closely with the vision of our president about growth and about ensuring the members are engaged and plugged in. So I will continue to I will make that my vision and mission as well. Especially in this new normal, when I believe the whole perception of Toastmasters itself is under evaluation by some current and prospective members, this area will be a key focus for the success of our club. Having donned the hats of both the president and in a way VP membership, leading up to getting the first set of membership after the demo meeting, I'm encouraged that this will be an area where I can possibly make some impact. Thank you. All right, moving on. So the next officer we have is for the VP of Public Relations. So we have Toastmaster Shreya. Please welcome Toastmaster Shreya, who's going to share her thoughts with us.
Good afternoon, everybody. I was also hoping for some kind of a battle for this, but I guess not. So as the name itself suggests, I will mostly be involved in the publicizing and the marketing of our club. My main job, my main job for this term, I think, is to celebrate our club, find the achievements of all our members that we are so proud of. As our president said, that growth is something we want to focus on. So this is what I also want to highlight, that we want to show the growth of our members to our club, within our club as well as outside the club. Apart from this, my role will also include letting the club members and the other clubs know about our meetings, as well as any events that occur in our club and the achievements again of those events. If there are any news releases about our club, I will also be in charge of that. Apart from that, I am also going to be a point of contact for any events that occur here or outside our club. I'm hoping that we have more in social media initiatives. I'm very bad at that, to be honest. I don't follow Twitter or YouTube much or any other social media channels, but I think that is a challenge that I have given to myself, to be more active and help us have a more online presence. I'm hoping that we could do a blog or a web page, or even be more active on our YouTube channel, or maybe much more avenues that we can discuss with the team. I'm definitely new at this. I have not created any web page, or even for that matter, have created a single poster in my life. But this is a job to learn on the go, and I'm very excited to be working with the new executive team. And as I would like to say one thing, that the image or the brand of a club is not only the responsibility of the PR team behind the club. I think it is a collective responsibility of every member of the club, because the quality of a club is decided by its people. So I hope that we all really support each other and grow together as a team. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya, for sharing your vision and your thoughts and what you feel are your responsibilities and how you are going to go towards those responsibilities. Moving on, the next officer role we have is that of the secretary. And for that, we have Toastmaster Sumedh. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Sumedh for sharing his thoughts with us.
Thank you, everyone. Before I like to pitch in, I will let the timer know not to time this part of the pitch, because I wanted everyone to know what I am nominating myself for. so that you are better equipped to make the choice between me and nothingness. So let me just let you know on what the responsibilities are. My responsibilities as club secretary would be to take notes, maintain files, report new officers, and handle correspondence. So as a BTech engineer from Amrita, I think I'm well equipped to do this. Okay, now here is where the pitch actually starts. My fellow Toastmasters, I come here not to ask your vote today, but to seek your blessing. So bless me with your vote. I'm running unopposed today. As you can guess, my competitive spirit is safely locked up in a treasure chest in the Marina Trench, deep in the Pacific. Why did I nominate myself, you may ask? Because I'm well suited for the role and have experience serving a similar role in IEEE Communications chapter? Well, you may say so, but more or less had no option otherwise. But what is there in my nomination for you people? Rumor has it that an Hyderabad MLA gave out 7,000 bucks per vote last national election. So I got down to business. After doing a lot of calculations, I found out the actual ratio of his offer per person divided by his net worth. And after scaling that down proportionally, I concluded that I have an offer to make to all of you, a buck for your vote. Now hold on. Do you think I'm a kind of a guy who would pay a buck for your vote? No, I would pay $2 instead. So here I am, pillaged in my house. I found these $2. So please vote for me and I'll pass this on. Now that we have the price for moving forward, I will move forward. All inappropriate bribing aside, I believe that my nomination is symbiotic in many ways. I have a lot to learn with respect to interpersonal skills and what the club has in me as a club secretary is a guy who can come up with weird ideas which people call inventive. I never understood any of that. All of us have grown leaps and bounds in the past 9 months or so, but there is more, and my vision is to facilitate that and synergize with the executive committee. We have done well up till now, courtesy the previous officers and all the previous executive members. Now, I would like to run the next part of the relay race and carry on the good work forward. So when the polls open in some time, vote for the finger. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumit. I read somewhere, don't elect the most capable person, elect the goofiest person. And it actually goes a long way to maintain the creative energies in the club. And I think that's something that the whole of this club and executive committee is looking forward to, how you create not so juicy role, very creative, and also, share your thoughts in many other areas. So thanks for sharing your thoughts there. All right, the next one is the man with the money, is the treasurer. And we obviously have some needs for that at some point when we need some things to buy for the club and everything. So the next role is that of the treasurer, and we have Toastmaster Arjun, who's going to come and share his thoughts. Please welcome Toastmaster Arjun.
So, good afternoon, everyone. When I saw the role of the treasurer pretty empty in the sheet, I thought that why is this role so feared? And when I put my name, and then I saw nobody else put their name, then I thought, did I instill some fear in them? But the point is that this role caught my eye because I feel that I think I can handle money well. The reasons why I'm going to pitch myself against absolutely nothing, just like Sumedh, who's a lone warrior in his role. What I mean to say is that I'm going to be very good with money. I love money. I mean, money can buy anything, and money can buy lots of things for this club. But the point is that I also love money because it will help me seek responsibility. Money teaches you how to be responsible. Money teaches you how to be calculative about stuff. And I really want to be responsible and hold something that will make me accountable for my actions. Also, I'm good with numbers. I belong to the infamous batch of 2015 when the maths paper was very tough, but I still passed with great numbers. So I'm going to make sure that money will be accounted well by me and not a single penny will be lost. the real motivation behind nominating myself for this role was that I was going through the description of all these Toastmaster roles, and there was this one line that said that the role of the treasurer might not be that demanding or taxing. That caught my eye, and I realized that if I can be so economical when it comes to spending my time and effort, I can definitely be very economical with money. And I think I'm the best candidate because that point caught my eye. So jokes aside, I had a informal chat with my manager in one of our sync-ups, and he was trying to motivate me to apply for this role. And he said the same thing. He was like, "Do you know what this role does? Do you know what this role does? No, you don't. But no matter what role you take, you can still have a voice in the officers' room, and you can provide your input to improve this club." And what I believe is that the dying numbers are a major concern. And I feel if I can give my input regarding how to improve this club, that will be that will be like a responsibility on my part as being a member of this club. So thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arjun. When you talk about being economical and cost saving in your regular speeches, I think that actually indicates that you have been at Arista for some time and you understand how we work. So thanks for giving your pitch there, and we're looking forward to have you on board. All right, the next role is the one where we have multiple nominees, and we are really looking forward to hear from both of them. The first would be our incumbent Toastmaster Supriya, who's taken this role already. So we would like to have her come forward and share her thoughts about this role and put her pitch so that we can vote on that and make one of you the new Sergeant at Arms. Please welcome Toastmaster Supriya.
Thank you, Abhijit. Good evening, one and all. As Abhijit already mentioned that I served as the Sergeant at Arms for the past 6 months. Even before getting into why SAA, I'd like to tell that the reason why I chose to nominate myself for the officer role is that I feel that being an officer is motivating me to attend all our regular meetings, and this motivation is actually overpowering my hesitation to stand up and talk when there are more than one person or two people in a room. And I feel that this has helped me boost up my confidence. Now coming to why SAA specifically is that if you read the roles and responsibilities of an SAA, the responsibilities of an SAA is to arrange meetings and manage some of the things like ribbons and other stuff that are needed for a meeting. And people who know me people who know me better know that I'm good at arranging all these things. Like I'm good at arranging for a small get together and all, and I think I will do a better job at that. And I think I did decent enough in the past 6 months, and I promise that I would do really good if you vote me this time as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Supriya. All right, it's time for the second nominee. Please welcome Toastmaster Bhargav to give his counter pitch.
You're on mute, Bhargav.
Okay. Good evening, one and all. I'm the second nominee for the SAA role. You could say SAA is kind of the chief security officer of the club. The job of an SAA is to keep the instruments or club things safe and arrange the club meetings. They say you book the club venue as well. Yes, booking the club venue. And there is one role of gatekeeper as well, where you stand at the gate and don't allow people when someone is speaking on the stage. But at this time of COVID and all of this is irrelevant. Mostly irrelevant because you don't need to keep so many things, club instruments and all with you and arrange the meetings. But there is one thing which is left out. You have to set up the virtual meeting arena or the Zoom calls properly and see that there is no lapse in arranging the meetings. See that the meetings are started in time. see that there is no one is facing technical difficulties when we start the meetings. So I think I could do that job pretty well because I have arranged a lot of Zoom calls. I mean, I am the chief Zoom call organizer in these COVID times whenever we have our family Zoom calls. So I'm good at doing that. So please vote for me. I will ensure that club meetings start at 4 o'clock exactly. And if someone is trying to join after 4 o'clock, I'll just, exit them out of the meeting and not allow them. And don't take this as a, warning and not vote for me. Please think of it as, a disciplinary step to, organize the club meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhargav, for sharing your thoughts on this role and your pitch. Now I would like timer to set the clock for a 1 minute break, and within that's the voting break. What I would ask all of you is to vote between Toastmaster Bhargav and Toastmaster Supriya as to who you would like to be the Sergeant at Arms for this club for the next tenure. The next question is how to vote. It's kind of pretty easy that we are doing it this way because we don't have a lot of members. So just go ahead and type in your nomination or your vote and send it to me privately. If you want to make a friend and an enemy, you can do it in public, but I would really discourage you from doing that. So please share your vote as a chat in the chat message as a public chat. Sorry, as a private chat only to me.
The keyword being private.
Is my vote counted, Abhijit, as a guest?
Absolutely. You can go ahead and do that. You heard both the pitches.
Just out of curiosity, and no one should take this question personally, is there a nota option here?
Well, nota is the reason why Indian democratic system is not doing well. So I would say no.
Maybe if you don't just vote, that's not making any sense.
None of the above. If it's
no, just don't send the
message,
message.
then
Yeah, exactly. Just don't vote.
Nota means you don't like anyone. So do you mean you don't like both the essays? Doesn't mean you like.
That's what I meant by not being personal.
Sumit will remember this.
There can be other reasons also for choosing nota, right? Like if you like both of them equally and you don't want to hurt anyone, so then you can say nota because you can't choose between both of them.
Thanks, man.
Well, I would know who Sumit voted for, so I would take revenge on him, right?
Okay, the time is up. Of course, we will divulge the results of this election as well as just pronounce all the new officers at the end of the meeting. For now, let's move on to the next session. So the Toastmaster / table topic master for the day is going to be Toastmaster Hind. Please join me in welcome the president to be and Toastmaster table topic master for today, Toastmaster Hind.
I was applauding for myself. Weird. So, table topic master / Toastmaster of the day. There's too many responsibilities, so I decided to chuck one responsibility out of the window, and the one that I did is Toastmaster of the day. So, all I am today is the table topic master, and as a table topic master, I will have some. I'll have to take up some responsibilities of the Toastmaster of the day / GE / I'm not going to be the grammarian. Okay, let me just introduce the timer and the hour counter of the day. So I am extremely sorry that I forgot the timer of the day, who it is. Just pulling up the agenda quickly. Extremely sorry about this.
It's Gurunath.
You spoiled my efforts.
He has been timing everyone since the point you started speaking.
He's been showing a card up.
Yeah.
Well, this proves that you have chosen unwisely as a person. You have chosen very unwisely the next president of your club. Please welcome Toastmaster Gurunath as the timer of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hind. Good evening, everyone. Today I'll be taking up the timer role for the next second half of the session. And Fortunately, I could show some green and yellow card as well in the second half of the session. I don't have a timer card, but I do have a Uno cards wherein I can show some colors whenever you reach some beginning of the time and mid of the time and end of the time. So since we have only table topic sessions, so all the table topic speakers who reach the minimum allotted time, wherein for 1 minute I'll be showing green card. This is a green card I'll be showing, and whenever a speaker reaches midpoint, wherein 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll be showing yellow card. And whenever a speaker reaches end of the time, wherein 2 minutes, I'll be showing red card, and that I'll be holding this card for 30 seconds. So once you cross these 30 seconds, I think it will be disqualified once you cross 2 minutes 30 seconds, or if you speak for less than 1 minute. Yeah, all the best to all the speakers. So back to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gurunath. And you can see the effort and the dedication of Toastmaster Gurunath by the cards that he chose. All the colors were 4.
Yeah.
That shows dedication. Thank you, Toastmaster Gurunath. Let's introduce the counter of the meeting, Toastmaster Pragna.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, congratulations to all the officers for their pitches. Since there is no theme per se that has been carried till now, I'll just jump straight to the point as to what my role is for the day. I'll be the R counter. I'll be keeping a track of CRPF. C being words like repetitive words, many, very filler words, so, but, and pauses is unnecessary pauses, not timed or planned pauses, unnecessary ones. And I'll be delivering my report by the end of the day, by the end of the meeting. Thank you.
All right. With the tag team introduced, we will jump right into the table topics. But before that, I will just mention 2 things. One of the thing is, this is actually a project for me in my pathways. This is my L2P2 project. As part of the project, I'm supposed to actively listen to the speakers. So what I will be doing is, I'll be calling one of you, or basically many of you, for table topic speeches, and at the end of your speech, I'll be giving a very small, hopefully under 1 minute evaluation on how you spoke, and what also including in the points that you touched upon in your table topic. One thing that we have never done in our table topic session is, we have never introduced the idea of not sorry, I'm not getting the word, discarding the nomination of a table topic speaker because they didn't speak for long enough, or they spoke for too long. And because we have speakers in our room right now who speak for too long or who don't speak at all, I think it's very fitting that we should introduce that. So our current essay, Toastmaster Supriya will be entering the name of the table topic speakers in the form. So I'll request her to not enter any name who crosses the time limit of 2.5 minutes or does not speak for even 1 minute. So with that, I will also mention the theme of the table topic session today. The theme is emotions. I think this theme was introduced by Toastmaster Sumit as the essay of today. I'm not going to bore you or talk about researches or philosophies about emotions. There are a number of them. Google is very helpful. Google is much more helpful, will be much more helpful to you if you want to figure out about them. But I did a little bit of my homework, so just so that I can introduce some topics to be spoken by people. We will be talking about emotions, and one thing that may not play into everyone's ballpark is, this is not going to be a very comic table topic session, which I won't hold my breath for, because Toastmaster Sumit can turn anything into a comedy. So maybe he still will. If that does not happen, all the screens are frozen. Can you guys hear me?
Oh. Right now, I am having the emotion of relief that my net is not bad.
Oh, Oh, I ended up speaking for too long without anybody listening. Where did I lose you?
A long
Somewhere
while
out
back.
of
Where did I lose you? Can anybody tell me?
Something about
Can
you
use Google.
getting
Oh,
some
sorry.
fat.
Though
Something
we
about.
can. No.
You
Sorry,
wanted to
Pragna, carry
tell
on,
us,
please. Sorry.
tell us what
No,
emotions
sorry.
you
Go ahead.
talk about.
Okay, I'm not going to bore you with the details of it because I've
Yeah,
already
that's
Yeah,
where.
that's
lost the
where,
time. Because I've already
that's where
lost
we
the time.
lost you.
The one thing that might not happen in this meeting, which I was saying, was I would like you to actually put a little bit of you out there. And most of our table topic sessions have focused on being fun, maybe a little bit of comic. Here, I would actually like you to talk about the emotions and what you feel about them. It'd be great if you do that. Well, I won't hold too much of my breath for that because Toastmaster Sumit can turn anything into a comedy. So with that, I would like to request the first table topic speaker nomination. And please give me nominations. This is not a classroom of your sixth standard where every teacher asks a question, everybody like, okay, Toastmaster Bhargav, thank you for nominating yourself.
I raised my hand because you said 6th standard class. I used to raise my hand a lot. So
Oh, that works. Surprising. All right. So Toastmaster Bhargav, there are many emotions out there, but some of the emotions which are considered basic, which you might have also seen in a movie called Inside Out, are happiness, sadness, anger, disgust, surprise, and fear. 6 emotions. One of them was not in the movie, but I researched a little bit. So they say these are the 6 basic emotions. My question to you is, out of these 6, if you are given a choice to give up one emotion, which one would it be and why? I'll just repeat the 6 emotions: happiness, sadness, anger, disgust, fear, and surprise.
okay, I would, if given a chance, I would try to rule out anger because I think anger has been, taking a toll on my family relationships for some time now because I tend to get angry really fast, and I again tend to get normal really fast. So this, spike of anger suddenly, that spike of emotion is pretty dangerous for relationships, or it's pretty dangerous for human beings as a social animal because you're not supposed to get angry with people. You need to explain properly. You need to explain, I mean, whatever they do, whatever they say to you, getting angry on people is the last thing you need to do in your life. And I started believing that, I mean, pretty recently. I mean, by reading all these, self-help books and all, how to control anger, and how to control anger basically. So by God's grace, if someone gives me a chance to leave out an emotion so that I would never have to have that emotion in my life, that would be anger for sure. That's my thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhargav. That was a really good table topic speech. What I really liked about your speech was that you immediately connected it with your personal experiences. And when you talk about a very human version of your story, it leaves the room open for a lot of people to connect with you. One room for improvement for you could be to use the CRPFs less and form a thought completely and then let it out. Have a longer pause if need be, but if you stop in the middle of the sentence and break the thought, then it is not conveyed as smoothly as it would be if you loop it in a single go. Thank you once again, Toastmaster Bhargav. And now I'm looking for my second nomination. Thank you, Shreya and Sumit. So I'll go to Shreya first and then I'll come back to you, Sumit. All right, Shreya. So your topic is related to the first topic. So Toastmaster Bhargav would like to give up on anger. but emotions are part of our evolution, and that is assumed to be mostly scientific. So we'll base our question on that. My question to you is, why do you think we as humans developed anger?
I think anger is a much needed emotion in life to improve, maybe. You see, other species don't really get angry. They get hungry, they get sleepy, and maybe they get tired. That's about it. They don't get angry. And you see where anger has probably gotten us. I know there's a lot more. You can tell that we are smart, we have bigger brains, and a lot more scientific facts. But I think the fact that we were not happy with what we have, we were angry at some things that were granted to us, and we wanted more and more of it. Maybe that anger fueled us to be better, to grow. I do sometimes when things are not going my way, I get angry too. And I think that helps me because it helps me in processing it better in the first place, and then also trying to do better the next time so that I don't fall in such a situation where I have to get angry. So extrapolating this, I think that anger is very much needed for the progression of a species. And that's my pitch. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. That was a very short, but as a thought, a complete table topic speech. What I really liked about your speech was it was smooth. You did not pause too much. Your ideas followed one after another. And it was a progressive speech which led to the eventual conclusion that anger is needed for the betterment of our community, the whole of our community as a whole. One thing that you can improve upon is, because this virtual room doesn't allow us for a lot of interaction, maybe you can choose to look at the camera or at least at the screen constantly. If you keep looking sideways, one, it might become difficult for people to find out who's speaking, and second, it also might end up hampering the communication channel. And on a side note, I think the dogs in my street will really disagree with you on anger. The communities they have, they are a lot angry with each other. But thank you very much for the table topic speech, Toastmaster Shreya. The next nomination, Toastmaster Sumedh had already nominated himself, so I'll move on to him unless he is willing to back out, which I don't think he is.
No, actually I nominated myself for the second one because in my 6th class, I always wanted to be second in class. I was 25th. So I just thought that I'll try nominating myself. I was 25th out of 27 guys, and 2 of them dropped out. So yeah, fine. Go ahead.
Ambitions are great. I really like those ambitions. One should never stop being ambitious. That's what the message from Toastmaster Sumedh's initial pitch is. But the topic to you, Toastmaster Sumedh, is, there's a quote which goes like this: happiness is not a direction, it's a place. So my question to you is, what makes happiness so desirable? And can we be always happy?
What a wonderful quote. It is deep. One thing which I'd like to make it absolutely clear from my side is, and this is me not being funny, right? This is the Sumedh who is deep from heart to heart, is that I've never been high. And so I don't know whether happiness will always exist as a place, or is it some transient feeling you go through. But I know that I've been happy in my life before. I've tried being happier sometimes, and I've tried being sad. It's all part of a journey. So like every other abstract noun, you can actually take the quote, generalize it, remove the emotion part and put any abstract noun, and you can always say whether it is part of a journey to somewhere new, or is it the destination endpoint itself. So I personally believe it's a chicken and egg problem. you can neither be at one end while not being happy, and you can neither go to being happy without crossing through the happy part. So I don't know who got that. I did not get it, but I said it out, and it sounds pretty intellectual, so I will not take that back. Having said that, one more thing which I realize uh, from uh, from the quote was that it is a Boolean choice that we get. Is it the destination or is it the journey? What if even before you started the journey, you were happy? Think about that. So I firmly believe that there are many options if you choose to make them. And as a guy who has just done weird stuff the whole meeting, I choose to make my own options. So thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumedh. That was a really rounded table topic speech. What I really liked about your speech was there's this common idea of how to deliver a table topic speech is you take the idea, you beat it first, and then you see what the question could be, and then you try to answer that. That first of all gives you the time to think, and second, it also sets up the stage for you to play in later. You really did that very well with playing with the quote. You took the quote, you analyzed it for most of your speech, and that was a very good strategy to deliver your table talk speech. But therein lies my suggestion for the room for improvement in your speech, and that is you did not touch upon the question at all. My question to you was, can we always be happy, and why is happiness so desirable? But those questions were not touched upon in your speech. So while delivering a table topic speech, you could have talked about basketball, and we would still it is entirely possible that we would still be very much hooked onto you because you speak very well. The thing is, the table topics speech, when you are given a cue, it would be a good idea to remain around the cue and maybe try to touch upon the cue. But that said, that was a really well delivered table topic speech. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Again, one more thing I would like to say here is that one thing which is really important for all the table topic speakers is while you are speaking, don't forget the question. This time around, I was caught out, but usually we should not be forgetting the question. So I think what we should be doing is putting the questions on chat so that we see the question and then realize we are going out of sync and then try reading it back in. So thank you anyway for the opportunity. Now you know why I was 25th in my class.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, next up, who wants to go next? Avinash. Hey, that's so good to see. Hi, Avinash. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Great.
This first virtual meeting, so
wow. We'll take your feedback at the end of the meeting. For now, the question to you is, so it's a little long. I will just go through the whole of it. Emotions are just a template, right? The individual characteristics are very subjective. The same food can bring happiness to some people while disgust to others. Winning of a cricket match can bring happiness to some while sadness to others, while even anger to some. Now, with that subjectiveness of emotions in picture, can the collective of humanity feel one emotion together? Can we collectively feel a common emotion for a thing, all of us together?
For a thing, you mean particular, maybe like kind of a game? Can we have?
Can be anything, whatever. Anything is game. Use your imagination. Anything is fine.
Yeah, I see. As you told, right? So emotion is subjective. So for me, something is good. For someone, something is bad. So when you say common goal, right? So I think everyone at the end wants to be happy or satisfied, right? So if you take, let's leave. I think we should leave the. Maybe for me, the angry is the way to reach it. For someone else, the happiness might give the strength to reach the common goal. So I don't think I won't agree that it should be common or collective. I feel the end goal is what matters. Until unless if you are balanced, if you're balancing your all emotions, right? Maybe someone is happy with someone can achieve some things by being happy or by being calm, not being responsive. Someone can through fear. For some people, like for exams, right? I'll take an example of clearing an exams, which is a common goal for everyone, right? For all of us, clearing an exam is a common goal, but every one of us have different approaches in preparing for the exam. So for some of them, it is like it's like a passion. For some of them, it's like, no, I can read every day. He puts efforts every day. You know, he's emotional. He'll be calm. For some people, they read because of the fear that they have. They have to pass. If they don't read, they won't fail. But ultimately, the goal is achieved. So if you, for me, the whole point is, I would say it depends on individual, right? So I would say individual should learn to balance according to his capacities. Like if different people can process differently, so he should learn to process like what is good for him, and I mean take help of all of this. Maybe I think a group of see Avengers. I think let's take an example of Avengers, right? So all the people are different. They have different characteristics. The different people have different emotions. Hulk is angry, and that is the strength for him. So that's the conclusion I would like to make. So as a team, it's just that an individual should focus on what's good for him, and together as a team they should use their positives and reach the collective goal. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Avinash. That
Thanks.
was the longest table topic speech of this meeting up until now, and I really liked how you framed the whole speech. So one thing was very clear to me when I was writing this topic, that this is a little vague, that I'm asking a question that is already about a very subjective thing, which is emotions, and emotions can very well be ambiguous. And then my question was not very much to the point. So I really liked how you took your own interpretation and then played with it, and then didn't waste time figuring out what the question, what the person asking the question entirely meant. And because it can very easily happen in a table topic speech where you are trying to analyze a lot and then beginning. So I really liked your beginning, wherein you set up the stage for yourself by talking about the collective goal and people being different in their emotions in achieving that collective goal. That was really good. But as everything, there is always a room for improvement. What I would suggest you is something that I had suggested Shreya as well, that try to maintain a channel of communication, because in virtual rooms it is very difficult. Right now I have a gallery view of this virtual room, but if someone has a speaker view where only you are present on the screen, then it becomes all the more relevant and important for you to be looking somewhere on the screen. I know it is difficult to collect the thoughts while doing that, but it would be great if you attempt that. But that said, thank you very much for the speech. So who wants to go next? Hi Rahul, what's up? All right.
Yeah, pretty much excited. This is my very first table topics, and there's a lot of surge of emotions going through me right now.
Okay, now this is a little quirky, and I'm pretty sure after I tell this topic to you, Sumit would be like, why wasn't this given to me? So the topic to you is, take one emotion out of the 6 that we already mentioned. I'll just repeat them again: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, disgust, and surprise. Those are 6 emotions. Take any one emotion out of them and tell me about one peculiar thing that incites this emotion in you. Remember, this thing that incites this emotion in you has to be peculiar, and also should be something that you think is not prevalent in the larger crowd. For example, a psychopath may say that killing incites happiness in me. Killing does not incite happiness in most of the people, but in a psychopath it does. What can we do? So with that in mind, I'll just repeat the question. Take one emotion, tell us about a peculiar thing that incites that emotion in you.
and it should not be very common to the general population. Is that correct?
I would prefer that, but if you want to go ahead with a common thing, that's completely fine.
I would say disgust, and what disgusts me is when people are very opinionated. It is true that people can have their own opinions and can be to some extent be opinionated, but I have come across situations where people are not ready to listen to the other side of the topic and just be so opinionated that they're so defensive in their thought process that they're not willing to accept the other thoughts from entering them. So that is one thing that disgusts me as to why can't they just hear people out? Why can't they just try to give it a thought that this could be one of the possibility, uh, or what they have learned so far could be wrong, and what the other person is saying could be right. So this is one thing that disgusts me, and which I think is not very common in a lot of people.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. I would say that will still be a little bit common if I just go around the room and ask, and I'm pretty sure everyone will try to be righteous right now. Opinionated people discussed. If opinionated people discussed you, raise your hand. See, everybody is raising their hand. They're all just trying to be righteous, I'm telling you. Thank you very much for that speech, Rahul. What I really liked about your speech was that you began with a thought and then you played on it. So there are two kinds of beginnings that a table topic speech can have. One where you have an end goal in mind and then you go about it, and another is where you build something while not thinking about where it will lead and then grow on it. And from what I could hear, yours was the second approach, and you really nailed it. You ask yourself, what is one emotion that I would like to talk about, discuss? What is one thing that disgusts me? Opinionated people. And then you played on it. That was really well done. One scope of improvement that I would like to suggest is end on a high. Try to end on, if not a content high, then try to end on a verbal high. Don't try to end with your pitch going down. If you say, opinionated people, that gives a not so strong ending. And as I have said before, strong endings are just as much important as strong beginnings. With that said, thank you very much for the table topic speech, Rahul. And now I'm looking forward to my next table topic speaker.
I think we are running late of time. So.
Can I have just one more? Just one?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Arjun and Vamshi both have raised their hands.
You need to take the voting probably. No, let Vamshi go. He's the most regular, I think.
Okay. This one
Can
is
set a record by.
Yes, Vamshi.
But Hindi is giving complex topics.
Yes, this
no,
one.
But I want Vamshi to reach his high score, like cross barriers. So.
Okay, we already don't have time, folks. So I will just choose Arjun this time. I'm doing it alphabetically, no other thing. Random thing popped in my head. There is no favoritism here, trust me. So Arjun, the topic to you is emotions don't exist in exclusivity. Disgust and fear can lead to anger and sadness. But can there be happiness in sadness? If yes, how? And if no, is happiness the absence of sadness and vice versa? So the question is, can there be happiness in sadness? If yes, how? If no, is happiness the absence of sadness?
All right. So when I heard your topic and when you first lost me at exclusivity, but as you elaborated, I got the clearer picture. Now that you mentioned disgust and sadness can lead to anger, it is true, because I view emotions as two sides of a coin. So first side is positive. So there are positive emotions, and the second side can be a negative. side, which means that it includes all the negative thoughts which you have in your mind, whether they are thoughts of disgust, thoughts of anger, and thoughts of irritation. When you talk about happiness and sadness, they belong to two sides and they cannot be together. I firmly believe that you cannot be happy and sad at the same time, because no matter what happens, if you're happy for someone in a situation which makes you feel sad, that means you are sad. You're just trying to calm yourself. You're trying to attempt a defense mechanism on yourself to make yourself feel better, but it's not going to be. You are going to be sad. For example, now this is going to be a very cliche topic from movies, but when the hero tells the heroine that he's happy to see her marry someone else and he's happy for her and he still feels sad from the inside, I mean, that clearly shows that these two are such mutually exclusive emotions and he's just trying to console himself. With that being said, I want to end my speech by saying that there are positive emotions and there are negative emotions, and the negative emotions can be clubbed together and the positive emotions can follow the same suit. But you cannot have both sides of the coin in your mind at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Arjun. You touched upon the question really well, and that was the best part about your table topic speech, is that you stuck the whole content of your speech stuck to answering the question, can there be happiness with sadness? I would have loved it if you had followed it up with the second while answering the second question as well, which was, is happiness the absence of sadness, and vice versa. But this was a really good thing, and one thing that you did really well, you brought in an example. Whenever we put in an example that is a relatable example to everybody, you invite the listeners in your world and you set a very comfortable chair for them from which to watch your point of view, and that you did really well. One scope of improvement for you is if you could elaborate more. For most part, you said there are positive emotions, there are negative emotions, and there are two sides of the same coin, and that kind of stretched till the end. It was not a circle, which would have been great. You touch upon a topic and then you introduce a couple of more things and then eventually loop it back to your topic. Here the two sides were talked about and then it was stretched on to till through your whole content, and then you talked about the same thing at the end as well. I would have loved to see if you tried to list down some positive emotions and some negative emotions and give an example of how we perceive them. Well, but we can do only so much in 2 minutes, and yours was a great table topic speech. Thank you very much. And with that, I would not waste any more of your time. I have given a lot of evaluations right now. Thank you for bearing with me. And back to, no, there's nobody to give it back to. I would like to invite the timer of the day to give us the timings of different speeches. Toastmaster Gurunath. There are two Toastmaster Gurunaths.
Thank you, Toastmaster. As we're running late, actually too late, so I'll be just touching over the timings that the major speakers have taken up. We started our meeting a bit late, 8 minutes late, and the SAA has took 1 minute 30 seconds, and presiding officer took 2 minutes 9 seconds, and chairperson took 2 minutes 10 seconds, a little bit over of time. And the table topic sessions, the first speaker, Toastmaster Bhargav, took 1 minute 26 seconds, and second speaker, Toastmaster Shreya, took 1 minute 22 seconds. Third speaker, Toastmaster Sumit, took 1 minute 59 seconds, and fourth speaker, guest Avinash, took 2 minutes 17 seconds. Fifth speaker, Toastmaster Rahul, took 1 minute 28 seconds. Sixth speaker, Toastmaster Vamshi, took 1 minute 39 seconds. And the rest of the roles, like the officers who took time, can reach out to me for your timings. Most of the guys have actually reached out the red limit, except Supriya and Toastmaster Abhijit. So everyone have taken more than 2 minutes for their introduction. Yeah, back to Toastmasters again.
Guru, thanks for nominating me, even though I didn't speak. It was Arjun actually.
Oh, sorry, Toastmaster. Sixth speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gurnath, for telling up the time and letting us know. Now I would like to invite Toastmaster Pragnya to tell us about how badly or how amazingly we did.
Okay, so I would like to begin by apologizing to Toastmaster Sumedh because I forgot that there was a theme to the meeting. I was so overwhelmed and engaged in the pitches of all the officers for this to voice my opinion to it, because it should not be that I never spoke about the theme. Toastmaster Hind spoke about six emotions. I think there should be a seventh that should come accompanying it. It's called something called objectivity, so that it will knows when we need to draw the line and have some restraint and not let our emotions become a burden for us. Okay, going to my actual duty for the day. Congratulations to all the speakers, the officers. It's becoming, I believe that the our counter's role is becoming slightly redundant by the day because people are improving so much. It's very difficult to catch. At times, it's very difficult to catch on to errors. You need to be listening, and there are very petty and small errors that happen. But one thing that is predominant that I myself and everyone does is to use the word "I think" very often. We feel that by adding "I think," maybe we want to sound um, not so assertive, or maybe that could be the emotion behind that. But I feel that having "I think" or "I feel" everywhere just to soften our opinion it doesn't serve a point. I think we can skip that, having "I think" everywhere. Besides that, very little "as." Most often people use a lot of "so's" and "ands." So having which I myself am using, we could have distinct sentences. It's just that we add and just try to mix it into one. So these are the prevalent mistakes, and besides that, everyone has done a great job, and congratulations to all, and again congratulations to the officers. Thank you.
One thing that I missed out on immediately after the table topic session was voting. The voting link is pasted in the chat window. Please go ahead and vote for your favorite table topic speaker.
I don't.
Can you paste it? Okay.
Sorry?
Yeah, I got it. Now Supriya has pasted.
Oh, did I send it to some? Oh, I sent it to Abhijit only. I have received 12 responses. Whoever has not voted, please vote. I can see 13 faces, so there has to be 13 responses.
Did you vote yourself?
Yeah. Yes. Rahul, did you disappear? Yes, Rahul has disappeared. Theory has been confirmed.
Yes, I.
Okay, we have received 13 votes. Very well. And is it time to announce the table topic winner? Or should we announce it at the very end and keep the, announce it right away?
No, as per the agenda, you should right now.
Oh, okay. Agenda. I was just trying to pull off a reality television show here where I would just try to hype up the results. But anyway, if the Janta has said it, so it will be. Any favorites? Who do you think has won the table topic?
Arjun.
Arjun. Sumedh.
Arjun.
Sumedh says Arjun, so it must be Arjun. Congratulations to Master Arjun. Thank you all for participating in the table topic session. Now I would like to hand it back to, I have not gone through the agenda. Yes, I would like to hand it back to the presiding officer Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hind, for an a table topic session which was full of entertainment. I was wondering whether this was an active learning project for you or for all of us as well, because I think your topics as well as your evaluations were full of information and would have definitely required everybody to listen very actively to you. So thanks for kind of bringing up really nice content and indulging us with that. Now is the time to just go ahead and pronounce the officers. We have one election that happened, so I will go and present the new officers or pronounce the new officers in this order. First of all, the new set of OITC officers for the tenure July all the way to December 2020. President. So the new president of the club is going to be Toastmaster Hind. Please take the crown. I'm feeling very relieved. It almost caused me neck pain. I don't wish the same for you, but I really wish you good luck and all the best. I'm really looking forward to, serving under your leadership and seeing the club go places. So congratulations on that. Next in line, the Vice President of Education, that would be Toastmaster Akshaya. So please welcome Toastmaster Akshaya as the new VP Education. Please be ready to be nagged by her without making her feel that you dislike her at all. That's her responsibility, that's her duty, and she's going to make sure that she gets the speakers out of you, whether you're interested or not. So just respond to her messages. That would be my humble request. The next officer that we have is going to be VP Membership. That would be me, because there wasn't anybody else who wanted to do that. So just please go ahead and welcome me if you would like. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next officer. Next in line, so public relations, we have done a lot of it off late, and that's really great. I think there is some more room that we can do, and we obviously want more sustainability in this area. And for us, to help us achieve that with the club, the new VP Public Relations is going to be Toastmaster Shreya. A round of applause for Toastmaster Shreya. All right, the next one would be the person who actually would have to come with a physical paper and physical file and will have to maintain it. It's going to be the new secretary of this club. It's going to be, well, he's prepared already. So let's just applaud the new secretary of OITC, Toastmaster Sumedh. Next would be the man with the money. He is too economical, and that's why he's too good for OITC and Arista. So please welcome Toastmaster Arjun, who's going to be the treasurer for OITC. All right, finally, the bitterly contested Sergeant at Arms position. I would say bitterly, but it was definitely very closely contested, and I mean literally. With 6 votes to 5, the next Sergeant at Arms for OITC is going to be Toastmaster Bhargav. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Bhargav, and commiserations to Toastmaster Supriya. I think you did a great job in the last tenure. I think it's time for Sergeant at Arms to take the lead and also, look at whatever brilliant job you've done and then take it to the next level. All right, here it is, the next set of officers. They are going to be fully responsible for all the affairs starting 1st of July. As a responsibility of myself as an outgoing officer is to, or rather outgoing president, is to put the new list of officers and publish it on the Toastmasters International website. I'll do that before 30th of June. You can go ahead if you have never found the opportunity to log into Toastmasters International page. Please go ahead and do that. Set your password if you haven't done that. Once you're in, go ahead and look at Club Central, and there is Leadership Central portal. That should have all the new club officers updated, hopefully in the first week of July, and your name would be there. You should also receive a message from Toastmasters on your email ID that you've registered with them, letting you know that you are a new officer. We will also have a Toastmaster Leadership Institute training that will be for all the various officer roles. Of course, with the current situation, this time it will happen virtually. I have been told by Toastmaster Mazahir, who is also the outgoing director for Area K1, that this is going to happen sometime in mid of July, around 15 July or so. We should soon hear about that. I would highly encourage all of you to attend that. And that will definitely give you a lot of definition to your roles, and you will hear a lot of feedback and a lot of comments from other people who have taken this role in the past, and what visions do they share, and you can definitely see if it fits well. You can imbibe some of them. Okay, with that, thank you everybody, and we have one more meeting in this tenure. So just I would request the VP Education to actually take over and work with the outgoing VP Education right away to start to fill their roles for next meeting, so that you start getting a taste of it. All right, that's all I have. Thank you everybody, and we'll talk to you next week. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.